the right needs something to run on, to govern on, and it is attacking the trans community. We've seen that many times over the past couple of years. We're gonna see it a lot more, and it's now in effect in Texas. Governor Abbott announced that they're gonna be going after the families of those who love and accept their trans kids and try to help them to be the person that they are. Well, that was announced like a week or two ago that they're gonna do that. No, they're doing that right now. Texas officials have begun investigating parents of transgender adolescents for potential child abuse, according to a lawsuit that was filed just yesterday. Governor Abbott directed state officials and different departments in state government to handle, to consider handling certain medical treatments as possible crimes, saying all licensed professionals who have direct contact with children would be required to report to state authorities those that they believe are receiving gender affirming treatment or face criminal penalties. And they're doing it. Jane Doe, the mother of a trans child, Mary, is actually herself a DFPS employee, one of the departments involved in this effort. They're going after people in their own department. On February 23rd, after this was developing, she asked her supervisor, what am I supposed to do exactly? They put her on leave from her employment because she came forward. 2 days after that, they sent a child protective services investigator to her home. In the lawsuit, it says a CPS investigator disclosed that the sole allegation, the only thing that would make them believe that there was child abuse, was that Jane Doe and John Doe have a transgender daughter and that their daughter may have been provided with medically necessary gender affirming healthcare and is currently transitioning from male to female. So on leave from her job, people are showing up at her house because they're helping their kid. That's it, Viviana, at this point.
It's really sad. This is not the first time that politicians have utilized bureaucracy of child protective services to push their agendas and their hateful agendas. It happened within our lifetime. We saw child protective services in many parts of the country not allowing same-sex parents to adopt or foster children, and even trying to prosecute them for child abuse or accusing them of sexual abuse, things like that. So we are now seeing that has been flushed down the toilet. We're seeing same-sex couples, fostering children, adopting children, being beautiful families, as it should be. And now we're seeing these same political agendas utilizing these bureaucracies like child protective services as control, as methods to get their agenda pushed. And it's really disgusting. There's kids that are gonna get hurt. We saw it with the pray away the gay type of agenda that happened in Texas as well and other states. I think Colorado was a big one. We have already seen that kind of perspective, or that kind of what's the word I'm thinking of? Doing that approach, to be vague. That approach, thank you, is harmful to kids and hurts them, causes suicide, causes extreme depression. Really, it takes away their ability to even be a human being, because all of these people are weighing in on how you feel. So this is another horrific example of that. I suspect that in time we will be able to snuff it out. I know the ACLU is already attacking this, and they're not gonna be able to push this. I mean, Texas does a lot. They really walk on the line. At the end of the day, we have certain laws that protect our individual rights, and this is gonna be hurting these children, and we cannot allow it. It is really disgusting.
I 100% agree. I'm gonna end with, this is from the suit. There's a quote from the employee. "We are terrified for Mary's health and well-being and for our family. I feel betrayed by my state and the agency for whom I work. Not providing Mary with the medically necessary healthcare that she needs is not an option for us." One of the other mothers that's cited in the filing, because they're going after multiple families already, says, "I keep on hearing these politicians are just using trans kids as their pawns to score political points." And that's true. And how would you feel if your child is being treated as a game, as a means to an end? But she said she was tired of people telling her it's just a political stunt. Yes, they're right, but it's a political stunt that causes real harm. And while I will give Joe Biden a little bit of credit for saying that he's always gonna have the backs of transgender kids, that quote doesn't have their backs. That by itself is not enough. You have to actually do something. And I will remind you, in case you've forgotten, you're the president. If anybody has the sole power to get involved, to do something, it would be you. This is happening. This is not perspective.
He could have said it last night. He could have said it last night. We have your back. What's happening in Texas is we're gonna put a stop to it. Well, how do you have their back?
What we're gonna do about it.
Yeah, he doesn't know.
But so far not. And we're in the middle of this. The dystopia that we've been talking about, where they're digging through confidential medical records, people are showing up at your house because you love and care for your kid. They say that's abuse. That's happening right now.
These are the same people who are saying, I have a right to not get a shot and I don't want to give my kids a shot. So if you have that right over their medical care, why doesn't this parent have right over her child's medical care? It's such a contradiction. It's mind-boggling.
Check out the Damage Report podcast each day, wherever you get your podcasts, whether Pocket Casts or Stitcher or iTunes. You can join me as I give you the news and stories you want, with a range of co-hosts and interview guests jumping in on the fun each day. Again, that's the Damage Report, wherever you get your podcasts. And if you get them at iTunes, don't forget to rate and review. Sometimes I'll read them live on the show.